Wednesday night, we're all in sight. 9 o'clock, it's shining bright. Turn the dial and feel the might. Just enough Heshy takes flight. Woo! Laughs and wisdom side by side. Heshy show won't be denied. Tune in live and ride the tide. Feel the rush and feel the pride. It's just enough Heshy. Wanna vote for Heshy? It's just enough Heshy. Join the crowd, it's messy.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to a Just Enough Heshy show.
Just enough.
See,
baby.
when the producer puts up the finger and actually times me, I know how to do it properly.
Well, we got the 2-minute drill correct. Looks like in football. You got the term. Got it down.
Anyways, welcome everybody to our show. Welcome our Instagram and YouTube fans and Facebook fans. Yes, I was getting to that. Thank you, Tom.
You're welcome.
But we have a lot to talk about.
Absolutely.
Of course, about all those other things. We're going to talk about your buddy Mandami.
Yes.
We're going to talk about my election because now we're going to be starting it up after the summer soon. And
Can you believe that, by the way? Summer is less than 4 weeks to Labor Day.
I know. Labor Day will be my 36th wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
And my son Yaakov's first wedding anniversary.
Congratulations.
Yes. So it's Labor Day. I'm going to try to take Linda away. I'm hoping that I can go upstate. Maybe yes, maybe not. We'll see what happens. If not, I'll stay in New York and barbecue on my. Today I made. I know that a lot of the people don't have their wives home in our office and our neighbors. So I woke up early this morning and I made a lot of these little fried chicken drumlets.
Wow, okay.
And I made my secret recipe, and I made Eddie Bamas, and I handed it out with my juices this morning. And all the guys were in the neighborhood. They saw me walking out right now about a half hour ago. Oh, Heshy, we were so hungry. Thank you so much for it. I said, I hope you ate it, that you're not lying and throw it away. You know what I mean? Sometimes they throw it away. But, I cooked for everybody. I did very good. And I fed a lot of people today. I'm going to feed a lot of people over the Shabbos weekend because our packages, even though people go away for the summer, we're short-handed, we still feed the 150 families.
Listen, why are they supposed to be a lot cooler this week?
I want to thank you, Tom.
Yeah, okay.
You had a young man that brought me a lot of canned goods.
Yes, a friend of ours, yes.
He brought it to us in bags, and I'm putting it in boxes, and I'm going to be donating it to a food distribution center.
We can thank Bob Trackman, a listener of the show.
Bob
big supporter.
Trackman,
Yep.
thank you
Good
very
man.
much. He dropped it off,
made it Midwood.
and I'm going to set it up in boxes to give away very nicely. I want to thank him so much for just... That's what you're supposed to do, the little things. It's not much. You just have to get, and it was a wonderful thing that he gave, and it wasn't kosher stuff, so I was able to give it out to even a Muslim organization.
Very nice.
Which they were very appreciative of. And I want to thank my listeners that you listen. I have a guy, what's his name? This young man called me from Independence Towers. They complained to me.
Oh, yes, he was good advice.
Right. So he told me to come to his apartment to come check stuff out, which I am going to come out to Independence Towers to Williamsburg. Because when I was there, it was a really good show.
Yeah, we were talking about this.
But he says that everybody moved away. They moved up or they got Section 8. They moved to different places. But again, surrounding Independence Towers is $2 million homes.
I know.
So I don't know how Independence Towers, you're right, it was 20 years ago, 97 that I worked there. But I didn't think 20 years that people would...
I don't think anybody thought...
1,400 families moving out and destroying the place.
I don't think anybody would have thought 25, 30 years ago that you'd have $1-2 million homes surrounding it. That's what you said. Real estate is... Definitely, we should have had.
Well, I knew that Borough Park would go up. I knew Williamsburg would go up, but I never even thought that the artist section over there in South Williamsburg would go up. And it really, they took a bad neighborhood with crime-ridden and terrible things going on there, and they made beautiful parks and everything.
They made beautiful parks, and we're about to go on the air here for our radio stations. I want to thank them for coming in here, first of all, with our flagship 620 WSNR. Been with us almost since the start. The legendary former rock and roll station, 102.7 WNEW-FM, and of course, Heshy's favorite place, 1640 WJPR in beautiful Miami. And Heshy's got that Will Smith song blasting. And thank you for joining us on this week's version of the Just Enough Heshy
I
show.
want you to know my 36th anniversary is coming up, and I want to take Linda away. She doesn't want to fly anywhere, but I wanted to take her maybe to Israel or to Florida, but she doesn't want to fly, so most likely I'll take her upstate. But like I told you, if not, I do the barbecue at home.
Hey.
You know what I mean? It's easier, you know, and I have the little, what are those rodents called? The squirrels. They'll come join me for my barbecue.
At least you don't have what they have in Staten Island, which is turkeys.
Oh, really?
They have turkeys.
I like to, but my kids won't come. They're always busy with something else besides taking care of their mother and me. They're ungrateful.
Wow.
But
Fair enough.
everybody, we have a lot to talk about.
Yes, we do.
About you and Donnie, about Donald Trump, about the redistricting. We'll explain that to you because Tom is very knowledgeable in that. And how they're trying to cheat and like it never ends.
No.
It never ends. Like the election with George. Like I told you, you know, our
That
friend.
thing's still going on, huh?
Right, so we have the 47th district.
Yes.
That George, we helped him win the election.
Yes, we did.
And then we found 22 false ballots plus 3 dead people on the ballot roll. And you know what happened?
What?
Now that George won the election and it was told that he won, they recounted it with the false ballots. They're saying that George's guy, Dmitry Kugel, submitted false ballots so he can blame the competitor, Richie Barsimian, and set him up, and then it would go to special election. It's like never ending, these lies.
No, you know what?
And conspiracy theories, it doesn't end. Doesn't end.
I guess they believe in UFOs.
Yeah, yeah. Anyways, I want to give shout outs to my delicious granddaughter, Mira Nava.
Favorite part of the show, Heshy.
And of course, Layla Tamar, Benjamin Hello, my grandson, Ahuva, my granddaughter, who is very like she's too uppity. You know what I mean? When you look at her, you should see the way she picks up her little nose.
Too uppity. Okay, I haven't heard you use that one before.
And Yeshua, my oldest grandson, and of course, my newest granddaughter, Yael Miriam.
Oh, wow.
Very nice. Yeah, I'm
Many
hoping
blessings.
they come visit me because I only got to see her once, and I know we have a wedding for the other side, so I'm going to go out to
And we also, speaking to people, we want to shout out you because HeshyTishler.com, we're getting ready as the summer is approaching the second half. We're going to get ready for the campaign to restart
November
after Labor
4th,
Day.
we need your volunteers. Tell
November
them.
4th, if you want to go to HeshyTishler.com and let us know what you can do to help, donate. Most importantly, we're a few donations away from getting that full amount of funds for Heshy to win this race. Just enough Heshy
4
at gmail.com
donations away.
is his email.
Four donations of $175.
Come by the office anytime, 5318 16th Avenue. Stop by. We're going to get the campaign rolling soon. So if you want to put some signs out there, knock on some doors, hand out some flyers by a
phone
supermarket,
calls.
whatever it is, come on down, HeshyTishler.com. That's the way to get involved. The campaign is going to be roaring here in a few weeks. So we're very excited about
And
that.
I'm going to talk about my business, Green Line Building Solutions.
First time you got that right in a while. Go ahead. Take it away.
So Green Line Building, what we do is we do plans and permits and violations. I had somebody come in today who's running an Airbnb, and he has a beautiful Airbnb, and he got permission. You know, now when you have an SRO, you need a special license.
Yes.
So he got Airbnb.
And that's why the producer wants you to give a call.
Right, so what I did was
718-871-0382.
we're located at 202 Forest
Right
Avenue.
off McDonald Avenue
And
by the
yesterday I
F-train.
got somebody a year he wasn't in his house. A year. And I got him into his house with the toughest
And that's why we
inspector.
want to go to 718-871-0382. That's why, because, you know, I know.
Well, don't forget to call Green Like a Pines. Call me. We give free advice. 718-871-0382.
Now, only Heshy, if you could have extracted my mouth, because I have to get a root canal next week. But we'll talk about it a different time.
Really?
But we'll talk about that after the commercial break, because our buddy Anthony Finkel, 347-228-2625, DPH Property Maintenance Service. Success doesn't come from what you do occasionally. It comes from what you do consistently. DPH has over 10 years of excellence serving our greater South Brooklyn community since 2013. And I've known Anthony Finkel that entire time. So that's why you want to go out there and give him a call. Green Line Building Contraction with you.
Construction and compliance,
And whatever
whatever.
it might be, a DPH Property Maintenance Service. Help us out. Support these two men, Anthony Finkel and Heshy
I like
Tischler.
Anthony. He gives you a great price to clean your buildings. He's very good. I know. I use him myself. He's wonderful.
Yes.
Anyways, I want to give you a quote.
All right.
Okay?
You do it.
And this has a lot to do with what's upcoming elections and so on.
Okay.
Attitude is a choice. Happiness is a choice. Optimism is a choice. Kindness is a choice. Giving is a choice.
Wow.
Respect is a choice. Whatever choice you make makes you choose wisely. You know, I had somebody walking by today. Oh, you have so much information, Heshy, about Mandali and Adams. Well, you choose correctly. That's why I know what's going on, because I choose to listen. I choose to understand. And then here's my next quote. Believe in yourself. You are braver than you think, more talented than you know, and capable of more than you can imagine. And when I despair, I remember that all through history, the way of truth and love have always won. There have been tyrants and murderers, and for a time they can seem invincible. But in the end, they always fall. Think of it. Always. And the reason I tell you these quotes is you all have these tragedy things with Mandami. You have all these problems that you're going to be tortured and knocked down. You're right. The government is out to get us. You know, I was listening to a report that NASA, the scientific place that sends rockets to the moon, the guy wants to build a nuclear power station on the moon. Why?
For what?
Not billions. It's going to cost us trillions. But again, we're going to waste our time because government thinks they can push us around. You know, your friend Governor Hochul is bitching about redistricting.
Yes, I did.
And she's going to redistrict New York City.
Yes. And we went through this twice, by the way.
So she's going to do it, and she's going to do it illegally. But she gets on television and says, listen to this about the Texas guys who want to do the same thing.
I want to hear it.
She says about the Texas people, the testic redistrictings of the Dems, they are supposed to be arrested because they walked out. They're not allowed to do it. So Hochul says in Texas, she calls them law-breaking cowboys and says the chaos and cruelty they will do, they will be voted out of power. So she's doing the same thing here. I'm telling you that she's going to be voted out of power. She's no good. She's doing the same cheat that she says the Texas people are doing.
Well, I got to be honest. Two wrongs don't make a right. And that's why, now I want to talk about Hochul first, and I want to go to Texas because I'm very adverse on this. We had two redistrictings already. The first one was in 2022. The courts struck it down. In fact, they struck the state Senate originally and then the federal maps. We went through this again a second time, and we had to go have new assembly and congressional maps. The governor signed the last maps. And as a matter of fact, it was constructed in a way that everybody was happy. This is supposed to be done. And specifically in the state constitution, it bans mid-decade redistricting. It's a moot point. So what she's trying to do is to get an amendment passed by not one but two legislatures, which is next year and then the following, to get it on the ballot by November 2027 to change the law for 2028. But voters also on top of that in 2021, they voted for an amendment that keeps redistricting the way it is. It's now done by a commission.
But she might not be governor by then, which will be good.
We'll find out. New York's still a Democratic state.
You know, you all think that Mandami is going to win. Do you know that Mandani sat down with... first of all, I want to tell you my joke.
All right, tell me the joke.
I want to tell you the joke before we get serious.
Go on.
Here's my joke. So when the boys were little, me and Linda, we were sitting watching television one night.
All right.
We were watching a PBS show on childbirth. You know? So we were watching, and the kids, the little boys, the two of them, 5 and 6 years old,
and
they
if you want to give
us
a call, 646-974-1580. You know that you're trying to call into the show. Give us a little while.
But he doesn't even pick up the phone when
he
hears it.
Let's hear this.
That's what shows you about my producer.
Well, we're obviously getting a call now, but continue that joke.
Okay. So anyway, so we were sitting there and we were watching this PBS show on childbirth.
Okay.
And Moshe and Avram joined us. And they sat there, and they sat right in the middle, and you should have seen how enthralled they were watching this show. We were like impressed. And you heard the lady scream, and you heard the baby come out, and they smacked the baby, and he started to cry. And when the show ended, the baby was delivered. So Moshe was fascinated, and he said, "Mommy, does that hurt?" And Linda, remembering about childbirth pain, she said, "Yes, it hurt." "Wow," Moshe says, "does it hurt the mother too?" You get it?
That's a good one, yeah.
So that was a cute. But I thought it was great. I just remembered because I was watching the PBS and I saw this childbirth thing. I said, "Oh my God, I saw this like."
Almost sounds like Linda had PMS by watching that.
So you guys, I want to finish the read. So my point is you're a legislator. You're supposed to be there, and then you find a code, a law to leave the state. You should be arrested.
I think that's a situation that Texas's courts will have to figure out. But I do partially agree with you. First of all, Hochul's a crook. Hochul is a terrible governor. And for her now to waste time and to spend all this money and all
millions of dollars,
all this
again,
grandstanding, and to host these Texas legislators, that's Texas's problem. Hochul should be focused on fixing the many problems that we have in this state, why people are fleeing this state.
Why people are hungry. Why people don't have health insurance. She's so busy giving abortion money to people from other states. She's so busy making this a sanctuary city.
Yep.
If you have so much money and power to give outside, then yes, create a healthcare system even for the immigrants.
Absolutely.
But don't let them take from our system.
She's trying to play
but
political
there's a new
football.
law that I heard.
What? I
forgot the new law, the name of it, and I was very interested in it. They're stating that if you're an illegal immigrant and you're here for 5 years, and you pay taxes, and you don't take any food stamps, and you don't take any health care, but you pay for it yourself, and you don't take any public housing, you should be allowed to apply for the green card and citizenship. I like that law. I forgot the name of the law, but I was very impressed. Give the illegal immigrants a shot that if you are here 5 years, and you pay your taxes, and you take no public funding whatsoever from health care, that means you're not a burden like the original immigrants, like my father and all of that came, then yes, you should be allowed. Creating a sanctuary city, I never heard of such a thing. I understand a sanctuary church or a synagogue, but a sanctuary city?
And what Hochul is doing is she's helping these Texas criminals break the law. But I do want to say that I don't agree with what the Texas Republicans are doing either, because I think, to me, once you do redistricting, do it once. I don't think we should now be doing every year like Trump and J.D. Vance are now trying to tell Florida, trying to tell Indiana, Missouri, all these states to redistrict, and now we're seeing Gavin Newsom, who's worse than Hochul.
Wow, the worst.
I mean, now he wants
You know what Gavin says? He says guaranteed that the Republicans will lose the midterm elections. What do you think about that? I don't think so. Trump is doing a great job.
I don't know. I mean,
I think he has the black vote, the Latino vote, the Jewish vote. He's got a lot of it, except some of these leftists.
I wouldn't know each individual district to say if Republicans are going to win or keep the House. It's a very small majority, but I don't like what Republicans and Democrats are doing with this redistricting.
Right.
To me, it should be just one time we do it. It shouldn't be now. New York, we've already seen New York, to me, is actually worse than California because we did this twice already.
Yeah.
We can't keep doing this every year.
And the funny part is when they redistrict, one of these little pishers, when he redistrict, he actually redistrict my neighborhood to cut my block out so I wouldn't be able to run for city council district leader in my own neighborhood.
Yeah, listen.
And he couldn't cut out my city
when
council
I hear
seat, but he cut out my district leader, but he left my son in
listen,
there. My son
when I heard
leader.
Carl Hesty, the speaker, a guy, a total crook, talk about the fact that, well, the Democrats have been playing nonpartisan. No, Mr. Speaker, the assembly has been gerrymandered in favor of Democrats since 1982. We're talking about 5 redistrictings in a row. You got a chance to gerrymander. And Kathy Hochul has been against the redistrictings, and we had to go through this twice because of her. So I don't want to be lectured by Democrats, but I also don't think...
Everybody thinks redistricting is nothing. It costs millions and millions of dollars.
They're going to spend $200 million on an election in California. People are living
wherever they're living, or they want to move into a Republican neighborhood, or they want to move into a Democrat neighborhood. You can't keep doing this to
but that's
keep
why
yourselves in power.
And that's why I don't support gerrymandering altogether. I think that, listen, the voters should not be picked by politicians. Kalman Yeager, Simca Felder, all these people, they should not pick their constituents. They sit there
in power, they redistrict, and they just don't want to leave. They wanted
to read. The reason that we had the courts throw out the maps for Congress and state senate was because originally they wanted to place Staten Island with Park Slope. It had no contiguity.
Right, 2 different boroughs with a bridge separating them. How do you put them together?
And
not even all of it, only part of it.
And there was they also wanted to put other areas there was Long Island with Westchester County. They're nowhere near each other. So to me, this should really stop.
They have no common sense how they do stuff.
They don't care. They just they don't care. They're not doing the people's business.
And you know what? I want to talk about I like Adams. I like Mayor Adams. But now I see he's crazy.
Well, how about what he's trying to do now, where originally the city council was going to pay for everybody getting these new waste baskets because of these program that he instituted,
right.
and now he vetoed that. So now if you don't have one of these trash bins that you had to buy from one of the groups that he found a way, he had some deal with, you're now going to be fined. You have to pay for that. I don't think that's a good idea.
And we had to pay for new garbage cans with special covers, new garbage cans with things. Every couple of years, they're trying to make us do stuff, and they just don't, and they keep fining
He
and
had
fining
all
us.
that money for the migrants, but couldn't find $14.5 million to send everybody a garbage
the
can?
Airbnb doesn't take anybody that doesn't register their homes with a special called a B12 living, that you file a form that you can take your home or your SRO and make it into Airbnb. Airbnb won't take you unless New York City approves you on a special list. Now the city is sending inspectors out, issuing violations. And it's like, you can't win either way. And then Mayor Adams, what did he do? He vetoed that street vendors, who the city council said is allowed to sell on the street, can sell, but you let restaurants put illegal places on the street, so
Those
we can't park our
stands
those.
that people-
So it doesn't win. You never win. Anybody who has the
But
power.
that's my problem.
Now we go back. Oh, Mandani's fighting for the little guy. So let me tell you about what happened with Mandani.
I want to hear this.
Mr. Adams met with Mandani for dinner. You heard about it?
You tell me for our audience.
So yeah, Mr. Mandani and Adams met for dinner, and Adams says that he had a good meeting with his rival.
Who picked up the check?
I don't know. I bet you it was the city. He had a good meeting.
It's a good one
he had
there.
a good
That
meet-
should have been your joke, by
he
the
had
way.
a good meeting with a rival, that we have different points of opinion, but Mandani's a pretty nice guy. Now, what and then he even said that Uganda, where he's from original, that Idi Amin was okay. Idi Amin was a murderer who killed 500,000 of his own people. He was thrown out of the country. Idi Amin was part of the Entebbe, where Jewish people were killed, and he let them be held hostage.
Horrible.
How do you even praise a murderer of five? I understand somebody killed one or two, you let him go. This man murdered 500,000 of his own people. There's nothing good to say about him. And then Mandani, who curses the Jews, who curses Gaza, who knocked you, Mr. Adams. You had a dinner with the man, and his father says that Hitler was okay or something of that nature. I mean, Adams is lost. After this, I don't know why the Jews are supporting
I gotta be honest, and I know that they recently had a press conference where 75 faith leaders endorsed Adams, but to me, Adams, he's just too all over the place.
Yeah.
I mean, listen, now, the city council thing with the garbage cans, that he's basically taxing and forcing people to do something that makes no sense, vetoes the city council thing. Then the casino in the Bronx that the council member didn't want, and the city council actually agreed with this member. He vetoes that, and now he wants this to happen. He's going against the members. Now, on top of that, he's been trying to take away with all these ballot referendums the city council's power as an individual member, when you win, to have that ability to decide what goes into a district.
One of my legislations is going to be that we will be able to file a petition to remove the mayor if we have enough signatures in the street. What's it called again? When they tried to do that with Gavin Newsom and
Recall.
You have to have 2 sessions to get to pass this legislation, and I'm going to fight to get the legislation that we could have a recall ballot on a mayor that we're not happy with.
I think that we should have that opportunity. We've had de Blasio and Adams. I mean, listen, Adams talks a good game, but he's too all over the place. He's been too inconsistent.
He's flip-flopping from one side to
and
the
really,
next.
think of it this way. If he thought he really could have won that Democratic primary, he would have ran in it, and he didn't.
He was afraid of the wrong guy. He should have fought Mandani. He could have beat him. But Cuomo was a loser. He knew that. But Cuomo, by the way, Adams tried to sue for matching funds, and they turned him down again.
Well, there's 2 other things. Then did you see? Listen, Adams, if it rains, it pours. First of all, Adams had a problem. They said they found with his petition signatures that they were fraudulent collected petitions.
Yeah.
And I want to say something on this.
I heard that.
As someone that I have been collecting signatures door to door pretty much since I've been in politics. So we're talking 19 years. Adams hires a company, which, by the way, some shoddy firm outside of the city, and hires them. These are the people that collected signatures last year for RFK. In full disclosure, I was on that campaign to get signatures to get RFK on the ballot. And Adams, by the way, you had people that were going to help in this district. And Adams, by the way, I want to put this out there. Adams did not want to pay your people to go. And we're experienced. We've done this not one, not two, not three, but 4 times in a span of less than 2 years.
And I got him 500 good, clean signatures.
You got on the ballot with no problem 4 times in a row. And for this man,
and I got him signatures for no money while he paid lots of money to other people.
That was exactly my point.
And he didn't even appreciate or thank me.
That was exactly my point. So we have done this 4 times in this district in a span of 18 months. And for him to then go pay some outside firm, which what they do is they hire these people. They don't vet them. They don't basically tell them. They don't train them anything. So they go out there and get these bogus petitions. They stand on a street corner. People fill in whatever name.
It's okay, street corner, but they don't even know how to ask
But they don't do it the right way.
They also sign their own name.
Yeah, and what happened is they found 40-something signatures with that. And the mayor is trying to claim, almost like as he had no, he definitely had something to do with it. Whatever it was, he definitely knew about it.
He ran a sloppy pig.
And also with like you said, the contributions going back to that, why he's been denied matching funds. Yeah,
Lots of
I think that's what you talk about 40 plus, right? 40 plus donation, and then the signatures was more than that. Yeah.
My point is that the straw donations they know is false, and he got indicted for doing falsifying. And again, I know he doesn't know what goes on in the campaign, but like me, you have to micromanage.
Yeah,
you have to be part of it. You have to check. You have to ask, especially with donations. When how many could have he had? 1,000, 2,000? We had 500, and we knew every single donation.
Yeah, and I want to say this because I've been on city council campaigns going back citywide races 2009. I have never heard of a candidate, a major candidate, and especially an incumbent elected official denied matching funds as many times as him. Right. I've heard of stories of candidates.
Cuomo too is denied matching funds.
Well, Cuomo he got a payment though. He did get a payment. He got a payment,
really?
But he got a payment. He got denied the most recent one, but he got a payment. Adams, on the other hand, did not get one matching funds payment. I've never heard of that. Now, I know there was an issue years ago with John Lewin donations, but this is totally different, where time and time again that this man gets denied matching funds.
I don't know how he became
and he's an incumbent. He should know the system better. And on top of that, he's been a state senator, he was a borough president, and he was elected mayor. You mean to tell me that he couldn't follow the law? This guy, to me, I want to like
this guy, Shapiro, Nathan Shapiro, or
Menashe
Shapiro. This guy's the biggest crook. Went against the Jews.
Look at who he put in his administration. Eric Ulrich he put in his administration. Right. That guy, far gone loser.
Wow.
He had Winnie Greco. I mean, all the people that he's put in. The guy, I hate to say he's too far gone.
You know what I heard?
What?
Today, there's 412 shootings. It's only
I saw
July
that.
or
I saw
August
that.
1st. 499 people were injured during or died. Over 2,200 murders already, and we're only halfway in the season. Now, he's telling me crime is down, shooting is down. I don't know what this means.
I think I think he's cooking the books.
Yeah.
He's obviously cooking the books.
And then again, you have a bunch of people screaming Hamas, Hamas. He lets that starvation, which is a lie. They took out a video that Hamas themselves had a hostage dig his own grave, and you see
I saw that in the New York Post.
And you know what?
What?
We do a bunch of crazy leftist Jews, which has nothing to do with us, really. Half of them are not even Jewish, but it's just a fake picture, screaming about starvation when Trump says, you know what, let me do the food distribution.
I saw that.
But you know that?
What?
That Hamas is stealing the food. You see it. We tell you. We show it to you. And still you have these protesters.
Yeah, I agree with that.
I don't understand in New York City. Now, you're all scared that Mandani and other things. Don't be scared. I know one thing, that if you stand up to them, and you fight for your liberty, I know that they can come to my house, but they're never going to take away my liberties. I made a mistake once to let them to take me to jail when doing de Blasio's case. I should have fought them. I should have put myself on the line. I should have even gone down. I know it was foolish, but I didn't have an army. Now I'm preparing. I'm putting away money. I've hired private security, private team. I'm going to build my own army. I will be ready for Mandani. I will be ready. I don't have my plan is to make so much money to create this is a dream. But I want to create my own police force of 30, 40,000 soldiers, and not.
You might need Elon Musk. Maybe you want to talk to Elon Musk about
once I get elected, I will be able to have the power. Plus, I'm going to call all my people, all the United States residents from the Midwest states, from all over the country. You guys are tired of this? Come here, join my revolution. But it's not a revolution against the United States because that's illegal. But join my revolution of mindset of illegal taking away.
Well, all right. So obviously that's
a stupid dream.
It's a dream, but
we have to fight back.
I want to talk about Mamdani though on something else. So that's obviously something. Let's get you to city council first. Let's focus on that. But Mamdani and the city-run grocery store idea, there was a big write-up in the Staten Island Advance talking about it, and apparently this city-run grocery idea it's been done in other places, and what they've seen in results is it doesn't work.
It doesn't
They've
work.
done it in Atlanta. They've done it in Boston. They did it, I think, in Omaha, Nebraska.
They've done it in small towns.
It doesn't work.
It doesn't work.
It's because what you're relying on the government.
You know that Mamdani
What?
is broke. You know, even though his
the
parents
money.
have money, he's a stupid assemblyman that makes $80,000 a year.
Yeah, a little more than that, maybe.
Whatever. He's a 3-year man, so he needs a lot of time
33
to
years
move up,
old, yep.
But he needs about 20 years to move up in the ranks. Or 15
Right.
years.
Yeah, about
So he wants
16.
to move up quickly. So that's his plan, is that he's going to do
Oh,
these little
what
tricks.
he wants to do is go the Obama route, whereas he's broke now, gets elected to mayor, gets his 2 terms, and then becomes a public speaker and a lecturer, and he makes millions. That's what he's trying to follow the route of.
You know that those Hamas and those illegal terrorist groups are watching him, and they're funneling him private money. There's no
Well, they were
way.
talking about Soros was funneling money toward his campaign.
Yeah.
Super PACs.
But now I heard Katzimatina
Wants to
somebody
lead.
else created a new PAC
Yes.
that says just defeat. It's called Defeat Mamdani.
Well, I mean, the question's going to be is what'll be different from this organization than the ones that tried to defeat Mamdani
Nobody really
three
tried
months
to
ago.
defeat Mamdani originally. They thought he was a joke. And then all of a sudden, the last 2 or 3 weeks, he moved up in the polls real quickly.
No, I think we talked about this in the show.
And there was
Mamdani
no
was
time.
a contender.
He was a contender.
I think they
but he
backed
was never a contender.
But I think they backed the wrong horse in Andrew Cuomo, who was damaged goods.
Yeah.
So I think ultimately this question's going to be is John Katzimatidis, Hank Scheinkoff, all these different people that now want to get involved and they want to try to stop Mamdani. What did you learn from 3 months ago that's going to help you this time to stop Mamdani as mayor?
Right, and it doesn't work like that because look at Kamala. She had a bunch of private PACs trying to defeat Trump, and it didn't work.
Well, Kamala now, she cried uncle. She's not running for governor now.
Yeah,
so what do you think there?
Yeah.
We talked about it briefly on the show last week, but I mean, I would have to think this is going to put her on a crash collision course for president with Gavin Newsom.
Right. And also, most importantly, everybody says that DJ Vance is going to win that election.
I mean, the Republican nomination, because he's vice president, he would certainly have a leg up.
I believe that he's
Maybe
great.
DeSantis could run
I
again.
think DeSantis wants to, but you know what? Vance, it looks good. He supports his president. I liked Mike Pence till the last minute. 90s.
Mike Pence is
But you
no
see, Mike
good.
Pence is a double-crossing lowlife. He played the game, and he was given the best shot of his life from nothing. He was a nothing governor of a nothing place, and he was given the shot of vice president that he could have been. All he had to do was, he didn't even have to say that.
He could have went I understand what you're saying. He could have went the George H.W. Bush route and served his 2 terms, ran as president, probably gotten elected.
Don't
No,
say
I agree
anything
with that.
about the president. Don't go against the president. You didn't have to, of course, not certify the vote, but you didn't have to. Right after that, he was saying illegal, and then he talks bad about the president. You know, he talks bad about him.
Yeah, no, I agree with you on.
But you know why I like President Trump? We're going to go to another subject.
Let's go to it. I want to hear it.
The Trump administration will reportedly hold FEMA disaster preparedness funds from states and cities that boycott Israeli companies.
I think that's a good
The
idea.
policy applies to at least $1.9 billion in aid used for search and rescue equipment, emergency manager salaries, backup power systems, and more to receive the funding.
Right.
FEMA requires guarantees to certify they will not sever commercial ties specifically with Israel. Now, again, you cannot be a government agency and support this BDS or BD thing. But again, he's right. You are American country, you're American state. You want to be a company that doesn't want to deal with Israel, or a person that doesn't want to fine. But you cannot tell America to do that when you're supporting how many people in these Arab countries that kill their own people. They give business to Iran. They sent money to the Taliban.
And you know what? You're exactly right, because I'm sick and tired of hearing about these leftists talk about Israel when meanwhile all these other countries,
the Houthis killing their own people.
They fail to talk about what goes. Yeah, Yemen, Saudi Arabia, Iran. All these places that they've talked about around Israel, right around there. that what they've done to their own people, brutalizing them,
And you
killing
only scream
them.
about Gaza when you see the Hamas terrorists telling the people to dig their own graves. I don't know.
Absolutely terrible. And you know what? One more thing I also want to say on what you point out about President Trump. I listen, you're a federal government or you're a state. You should be in the business of only helping the people here.
Well, yeah.
Don't get involved in denying people that money is allocated to help those elsewhere. To me, focus on helping your own. Because, I'm sick and tired of hearing about all these politicians like Gavin Newsom, Kathy Hochul, the governor in Illinois, talking about lecturing people. But meanwhile, what about their own people? People are leaving their state day and night.
Homeless people.
Homeless, crime, the quality of life, taxes up, all these things.
Everybody talks about the jails. It's a bad place.
Yeah.
Do you know that the jails have doubled in suicides? The prisoners have the suicide rate has doubled. So basically, the prisons but the prisons are really mental hospitals. We're putting the mentally insane. We're letting them run the streets. They're so nuts because we're not supporting them. So they commit crimes. We put them in jail, and then they commit suicide. And you think they're really violent criminals when, if you would have known, they really have mental issues and they're committing the crime that they don't know about.
Yeah.
So Rikers Island and all of these jails, half of them I've met so many people in jails that are really mentally ill. And they don't belong in jail. They belong in mental hospitals. But the crimes they commit is so atrocious that we have to put them in a jail because we had no choice.
But you know what that also tells us?
And then they commit suicide.
But you know what that also tells us, Heshy? Is that to close places like Rikers Island and have no backup is absolutely
Well, according
lunacy.
to Mandani, he says all prisons should be closed.
So then when we have those same criminals right in front of Gracie Mansion, let's see if he continues that policy.
Trump told, in the Senate is holding up nominees to go, many nominees that President Trump has nominated to get them approved. So again, we don't really need the Democrats, but they walked out. They keep filibustering and putting these laws.
Well, it's less than 60 votes, so they do need them.
But so they keep arguing and keep making trouble.
Right.
So Mr. Schumer, I'm not even calling him senator, tried to blackmail the president to do something with the budget for $1 billion. And you know what Trump told him? Go to hell.
Well, you know what? I mean, you basically did that 2 years ago, and you ran into him over here.
Right. I told Schumer that he's a low-life scumbag, and he won't come back to this neighborhood anymore.
Well,
and I'm so proud of Bondi, our Attorney General.
Bondi,
She's now finally orders prosecutors to start a grand jury probe into the Obama officials, the Russia collusion investigation. They're going to send subpoenas to President Clinton and, of course,
Hillary.
The mastermind, Hillary.
I saw that. I saw it yesterday.
I'm happy. Now, you're right. It's going to take 3-4 years. And again, I know Obama can't be touched.
No.
Clinton can be touched. Even though he was president, but when he did that, there was no presidency for him or Hillary. So
but
he
does
is not
he,
immune.
by being
now,
a former
if you commit
president?
No, by committing a crime after the presidency, you're not immune. It's only during the presidency or before, not after the presidency.
Well, I mean, that's obviously something. But speaking of Russia, did you hear about this whole thing with Russia and Ukraine submarines Trump released and this whole situation? I mean, what do you make about what's going on right now in Russia and Ukraine?
I don't know. I thought it would be over already, man. It's going 6 months.
But really, this has been going on almost 4 years.
I know. And soon the Israeli conflict will be over. They keep getting closer and closer. Again, now that don't you realize, you protesters, that Hamas had tunnels all over a country.
We talked about this on the show.
How do you have a whole area with tunnels? I mean, it's like New York City.
I remember we spoke about this right after October 7th, 2 years ago on the show. We were talking about those tunnels.
We didn't think it was so big. They have mazes and tunnels. They didn't spend millions. They spent billions of dollars in building these tunnels. And and some of them are ugly. And some of them are for prisoners. Some of them was for torture. Some of them was for building up their stash.
Yeah.
It's a shame. It's a shame that you people believe it, because there was a bunch of Jews. They're not even our Jews. They protested in the embassy that the Jews are starving the Gazans. Just
but you know, it's like what you said about 10 minutes ago, is that it's the left-leaning, self-hating Jews.
Right.
That's who it is.
It's not only that. I don't mind the socialists. I don't mind the greedy. See, the greedy people are greedy for a reason. They want to get for themselves as much as possible.
Right.
And sooner or later, even the greedy people get to a number where the greed ends. And
Do
even
they?
if
I always
they
feel like
do.
you-
They do. Even if not, during their greed time, they get so involved with their greed that they actually do good and charity work. You know, what's his name again? The guy with the railroads and the steel. What was his name?
Rockefeller?
No, Carnegie.
Oh, Carnegie.
Carnegie was a vicious
Yeah.
animal, bad man.
He controlled a lot of
Down in control. People died during the protest. Even Hershey, the Hershey chocolate people.
Yes.
When they tried to protest and strike,
In
he
Pennsylvania.
sent bad people to get them. But at the end of the day, what do we advertise?
Eminent domain and
Hershey's
autonomy.
chocolate. Oh
Yeah.
my God! You have to love your kid. I love you. If you fall in love with a woman, give her a chocolate bar. Instead, you had people beating and killing each other to make those chocolate bars.
Well,
And paying those people less. Ford created a newspaper that hated Jews, you know. And another person for his own, but the greed got to a point where they actually, like Carnegie, he's $400 billion. It was so valued at $400 billion that his money today still creates student you know,
what was it? Hospitals, medicine?
hospitals, student, funds to go to college.
Yep.
It has Carnegie Hall.
Grants. They're called grants.
Carnegie Hall.
Carnegie Hall, yeah.
Carnegie Hall, whatever. I call it Carnegie because that's the way they announce it on the TV.
It's Carnegie, but all right.
His children only got a few $1 million out of all that money. I mean, it was worth a lot of money, those few million. But really, he gave most of his money to charity. Greed,
I think that's
greed does go.
But
and
I
help
think
with them.
that-
But when you're a socialist pig that only wants to control the others, that never ends.
No,
because you always
and that's
think you're
why
right, and then you get into power, you get killed because you never get to
and
power.
that's why socialism doesn't work.
Yeah.
But I also want to go and point out and saying that that's also why I think ultimately when it comes to somebody that's very successful, there comes a time that you can give all the money away, but it really should go to things that can help the grid. When you get to a certain amount of wealth,
if you're going
that's where
to
it
give
should go.
away your wealth, give it away correctly. You
Yep,
got it?
exactly.
That's the way you're supposed to do it.
Exactly.
Now, by the way, I bought some Tesla stock.
You did.
Went up, went down. Now I hear that Tesla finally is awarding Elon Musk 96 million shares. He can't sell it for 5 years, valued at $29 billion. I'm sure you can borrow against it, whatever. But Musk...
What are you going to borrow against at that point? $29 billion a borrow. What am I going to do?
Yeah.
Can I
But
get a loan for $30
the electric vehicle
billion?
maker said in a regulatory filing on Monday that Musk must first pay $23.34 per share of restricted stock. I don't get it. I mean, is the stock going to go up? He's so brilliant. Tesla is supposed to be making money, not making money. They're not losing money. They have this robo cars. They have internet.
Yeah,
in
you
the
talked
cars.
about it last week. You weren't a fan of any of that.
I want Tesla stock to go up because I want something that he should be able to be focused to get this thing done. Either we're going to have I don't like electric cars. But either they're going to work correctly or not work correctly. You know, when Xerox first started their machines, they used to caught on fire. People don't understand that a Xerox machine is a miracle thing.
Sure.
They used to have thousands of secretaries just retyping pages.
Yep.
And the blue paper. With this Xerox machine, when it came out, it failed so many times and got on fire, and finally it made it. You know,
It's like
I love
anything else,
Don't you
trial by
love
error.
a copy machine? No, the fax machine is already obsolete.
Well, I'm saying trial by error. In order to succeed in anything, you have
the
to.
idea of a copy machine was
It changed. Listen, it changed the world. I mean, there's no question.
And so did the internet.
Absolutely.
Changed the word with
World Wide Web.
World Wide Web. Yeah.
We wouldn't have had the knowledge.
I believe in Tesla stock. I like Tesla. I'm happy that he's doing well. I'm happy that the deal that the judge broke down, they restructured it. And I'm hoping that he'll get paid. He deserves I don't know what he's going to do with the money, but I'm happy. And I know he does a lot of good.
That's up to him.
He has like 12, 13 children with 5 different women.
Maybe, you know what he'll do? I shouldn't say it, but I'm going to say it because you'll chuckle. He'll have maybe 12 or 13 more kids then with the $29 billion.
But he's giving them money. Even though I heard one of his daughters he's fighting with became a transgender. I don't even believe that one.
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, I'm happy that the DOJ is launching the Russian collusion. I want Nadler to get in trouble.
Speaking of Nadler, I'm glad you brought it up. Apparently, I saw there's somebody primarying Nadler.
Yes.
Liam Elkin.
Oh, a Democrat.
A Democrat getting a primary.
It would be so nice if that guy could raise. Do you think he has a shot?
I think Jerry Nadler is an institution almost. I hate to say it. I'm no fan of Nadler. He's horrible. He's just an obnoxious, arrogant. He's the definition of what's wrong with politics. But I just feel like he's just so entrenched in his district that it's going to be tough for that kid to win, because we see it time and time again that, people try to run.
Well, they said that about AOC, and she ended up doing it.
Yeah, but Jerry Nadler's different than Crowley. Jerry Nadler, his district, he's a liberal icon Marxist. I mean, this kid, we'll see.
People like when the people are self-hating Jews, they actually like them. Then sooner.
And that's what his district is, basically, and he represents all of Manhattan.
And I want to explain to you people how America is.
Okay.
There was a vehicle spotted in Closter, New Jersey, displaying
I know what that is, actually.
Okay, and there was a large SWAT sticker along a New York State EMT license plate.
Okay,
now it sparked strong condemnation from state senators and councilmen, and I don't know. The letter was sent to Mark J. Schroeder,
former assemblyman. I know who he is,
from the DMV. Again, investigation into the owner's credentials.
Right.
Here's a guy. He gets special EMT license plates, and then he pushes off. His EMT means he has to help everybody.
Yep. Yeah.
And he puts the Nazi symbol, which means he won't be helping people that are Jewish. So again, how do you give a man a plate that's very prejudiced?
But also on top of that, you're working to represent the people and the public. What are you doing saying things like that, or even putting anything out there other than the New York State emblem seal on your uniform, and going out there, especially as an EMT, because you're supposed to help the public of all backgrounds. By doing that, that guy should be fired automatically and lose everything, because what that guy is doing is he's going against his oath to serve. Listen, I'm a notary. You have an oath to serve people.
You have to take an oath.
He has an oath to serve the people in his area and on the state. So that to me is automatically a red flag. And especially putting on a swastika symbol, as you said, that's to me even more of a red flag, because that's just inflaming people and saying that you want to basically stereotype and be prejudiced against one background. That's not right.
I want to tell you something, that Trump wants to federalize the D.C., the city of Washington, D.C.
What about them?
Because gang members are walking out there, not scared of the police. They're 14 years old, 15 years old. They know they're going to be released. They beat up people, they rob people, they shoot people, and they just let go. And Trump says, I'm going to stop this. And look, gang members, they're just running around doing whatever they want. That's why I'm against illegal immigrants and for them. In Massachusetts,
let's hear this.
The police arrested 6 women in an alleged multi-state burglary gang, and 3 of them were illegal immigrants taken in by ICE.
We've talked about this here in New York. I want to agree with Trump on something. Trump, one of the things he wants to do is he wants to stop the funding for all these, whether it's safe injection sites, which we know have been a disaster, and all these different migrant places, or all these things that are, supporting sanctuary cities. And that example that you just gave of what's going on in Washington, D.C. and Massachusetts is a reason why on that Trump is 100% right. We should not be supporting and having
these illegal protests and stuff
terrible.
like that. We're one nation under God. Now, again, they could figure out the immigration problem. There's no more illegal immigrants coming in. Whatever is here, let's vet them. If they have criminal records, I'm talking bad murder, criminal records, rob and rape, get rid of them.
Right.
If they had a burglary or they made a mistake as a kid, we have to be able to consider it. You have to be careful with the law. But Richie Taylor once told me, well, the law is the law is the law, and that's the way it is. We don't have to listen to why he pushed his wife or why he hit another car on a rainy day. First we arrest them, and then he goes before the judge. First, we ticket them. There was a lady I was watching on television for one of these little, a sheriff or a deputy.
Right.
And she gets on, she wears the police uniform, she has a TikTok account, and she has a joke, or not as a joke. She says, well, since I didn't sleep with, my man in a long time, I'm going to give everybody tickets today. Now, I understand you're allowed to joke, But something like that, if you're in a power position, you can't do that. Like if you're a doctor, you're going to say, well, today, after everybody gets undressed, I'm going to molest them. You can't make such a joke.
But they used to say that sometimes about, like, you see certain police officers and they would just want to give you tickets or give
because they had a bad day. Or that's why 50% of the police officers and correctional officers get divorced.
I remember once in high school I had a part-time job and I was handing out flyers door to door for an insurance company, and I wasn't putting the flyers in the mailbox, and the police officer gave me a summons to go to court. And I said to the officer, I said, well, all I'm doing is handing out flyers, and he didn't care. And I went. It made me waste my time. And the judge was like, "What did you do?" I'm like, "I was handing out flyers because I got hired for a company for a minimum wage job." And he just like, "You did nothing wrong. That cop's an idiot." And that's what some of these cops. That's why there is bad cops and good cops. There are cops out there that listen. They've got attitudes, and that's why people.
My friend double parked on alternate side of the street parking.
Okay.
And so he didn't move his car quick enough on alternate side street parking.
What happened?
People were beeping and screaming. So usually you give him a ticket or tow his car if that's what you want to do. They went and found his license plate, found that we were on the corner. He was on the corner.
Yeah.
And when he came to the car, they gave him a criminal ticket to go to court. A criminal ticket for double parking. I mean, tow his car, but a criminal ticket, when you're fixing, they close down again half the streets in Borough Park.
I saw it today.
One street. Yeah, they close it down. We have to. Some people were calling me today. Heshy, help us. I have to go around the corner.
They're fixing up the block from our office here.
I don't know what they're doing over here. Every street is closed.
17th Avenue was closed.
And when they want to have the street open, what they do is they have a tow truck and they tow you in 2 minutes. So if that's what you want, have tow trucks float around to tow the people that are doing illegal. Issuing a criminal ticket, which you had to hire a lawyer for $1,500, go to court, sit there a day, and then in court he got a $25 fine. And the cop did what? Wasted time by writing this criminal ticket, and he could have arrested him.
That's what they do, and that's why people feel the way they feel at times. And cops sometimes think they're above the law.
Our city needs to be fixed.
It does.
I want to fix it.
And we can do that by going to HeshyTishler.com. You can go there, give a donation, sign up there on the website. You want to help, you want to knock on to the. We got people here in the chat. I want to thank you for being here. If you're in that chat, you have been here every week on this show. You have to come now and go to HeshyTishler.com and sign up here and volunteer.
Before
Make phone calls for
I want to tell them, I did a big...
HeshyTishler.com. There it is up again.
I did a big inspection.
Yep.
And I prepped the guy. I went to 4 pre-inspections, helped the guy out. And then when we did the inspection, boom. I had the toughest inspector, and it went beautifully.
Okay.
I'm talking, the guy couldn't believe it.
All right.
And then he says, why should I pay you so much money? He says, look how easy it was. I said, 1 minute. I prepped you every single thing that he was looking for. He told you he was looking for it out loud. He told you I'm looking, even the hinges he was looking at. I said, look how good I am. That I was very petty with you, and I made it so perfect that it worked. He says, well, I should pay you less. I said, you understand my experience? I said, no problem. You don't even have to pay me. But when you get in trouble again because you're not finished, don't call me again. Don't need anything. And then he didn't pay me. I left. And then my friend called me up. Heshy, let me give you half till we finish. I said, listen to me. I don't want any money. Just don't come back to me ever again. He came into my partner. He dropped off the check for the full amount.
Okay, I'll give you the full amount, though.
And I got you, but it's not the point. The point is that
he was trying to,
trying to bargain and negotiate after the fact.
You know what that's like?
I understand before and once I give you, but after the fact, there's no negotiation.
That's like if you're driving sometimes and everybody's trying to speed, but ultimately what happens is you're going to still miss the light anyway. And that guy, he was trying to cut a corner, but ultimately at the end of the day, you did him a solid. He should have just gave you the money at that spot. I said, you know what? Thank you, Heshy, for helping me here. I really appreciate it. And really...
Are we finished with our live rule?
We have another, 2.5 minutes.
So I want to just tell this one more thing.
We have 2.5 minutes.
So I have a guy in the Bronx that couldn't get an inspection, couldn't get his vacate order.
Okay, all right.
They filed papers and documents. They gave me copies of it. He called me 5 times for advice.
Okay.
I gave him free advice, and he was able to get halfway to the finish line.
All right.
Calls me up end of last week. Heshy, I'm screwed again. They won't come. I said, what do you want from me? I gave you my advice. You went to other places. You paid people more money. Now you're back to me. Please help me, Heshy. I'll pay you. So I gave him a small fee. I wasn't ripping him off. And then right away, I submitted the paperwork. I called the supervisor. I knew the right ways to navigate. We got an inspection in 2 days. And they were all happy with the date. And then I wasn't happy with the date because it's August 7th, the day of my test. So I pushed it for August 11th. Calls me up. He says, Heshy, you didn't do anything. It was the other guy. I said, 1 minute. The other guy for 3 months couldn't do the paperwork. After I got involved, 2 days later, you got an inspection. I called, I emailed. They responded to my email. And you're telling me I don't get credit for it. I said, no problem. I'll give you back your check. No. We want you to go, but I said, there's no going. Either don't insult me or insult me. But I'm telling you now that it was because of me, because this is what I do. And your guy he admitted he couldn't get it done. That's why you called me.
Yeah.
Anyways, you should pay your people when you make a deal.
I think, you pay for what you get for. You always want quality over quantity. And people don't, but by the way, you mentioned August 7th. You have an exam August 7th.
Right.
So you want to talk about that real quick before we...
I'm ready for the LSTAT. I'm taking a practice test tomorrow.
Okay.
I have so much work to do, but I'm still going to do the practice test. And my friend Devorah Mandela is going to help me. And I'm hoping, by the way, I'm off of Ozempic for 2 weeks already, almost 3 weeks.
You mean, wait a minute. You mean to tell us you were on Ozempic?
That's why I lost 150 pounds. What was it? I was 354,
so that's how
120 pounds.
So that's who Katy Perry got the advice from.
Right. I was one of the first ones in Borough Park to do Ozempic. I just want you to know that everybody's doing it.
And we want to thank everybody who's about to leave us here. Thank you, everybody. We're going to come back to that. Thank you, everybody, for 620 WSNR, WNEW 1027 FM, and WJPR 1640 in beautiful Miami, Florida. Thank you, everybody, for joining us this week. We'll see you next week on the Just Enough Heshy Show. We're about to leave us here. But so you were on Ozempic before all these people were on.
I was, because, I was watching television, and like I told you, I'm sitting there by diabetes. I'm 350 pounds, 360 pounds, and I'm trying every medicine, every day, fake diet pill. I've been on more than 1,000 diets, and I just can't lose the weight.
Okay.
And what happened, I even did the surgery. I lost it. I got it
My
back.
next door neighbor did it twice.
Right. Yeah. So they told me I can't. So I was really struggling. And it's not that I was perfectly healthy, but I knew it's going to catch up to me.
Right.
I'm sitting there watching television, and they said Ozempic for diabetes. And one of the side effects, they say, you're going to lose 14 to 20 pounds. I said, side effect? That's a great thing. So I went to the doctor the next week, Sunday, and I said to him, Doc, I want Ozempic. He said, you're not diabetic. I said, but you can lose weight. He says, yes, they did some research that you could lose weight. I said, I want it. No, Heshy, you can't get it. You won't be qualified insurance. I said, I don't want insurance. I want to buy the medicine. And he ended up getting it with a coupon. I ended up getting the medicine. And the money that I saved just going out to eat or eating a lot of food or double eating things like today, I tried to buy 2 slices of pizza and I could only eat 1 slice.
Okay.
I used to eat a whole pie for $20-something. Today the pizza costed me $4.
Yeah.
But it's not only that, I'm able to cook more. I'm more careful with the food. I've learned to eat, and I've lost. People can't lose as much as me.
So is there side effects?
So there are people, they say they get side effects. I haven't had any side effects. Again, you have to be in good health. If you're not healthy, there is side effects. That's what the medicine is. It's supposed to heal you and give you side effects on the way. I particularly was in perfect health, and as a matter of fact, the medicine shouldn't have worked on me, and it doesn't work on me, but it works as a weight loss because it produces extra sugar or not something like that. All I know is they want me to switch to the other side. I am not switching. Now, you're right, I have to stop it, so I did stop it to see that I don't gain the weight back because I'm a grown man.
Right.
But the truth of the matter is I'm not going back to being fat ever again. I went down from a size 20
I know.
shirt. I'm now down to a 17.
I remember you during COVID in the city council race in the 48 district. You were definitely living large.
Boy,
you were living large. You were definitely big H. You were definitely big H in that race.
I had a corned beef sandwich in one hand, a chulent in the other hand, and right in the middle, fried chicken.
I don't blame you.
I wasn't finished yet, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I had a bunch of mashed potatoes and side dishes on the side. And I was knocking it out. And anybody who didn't finish their plate, I grabbed it out of their hands. There's no leftovers in my house.
Well, I don't blame you. But
now I've learned to cook. I've learned to be more patient. I've learned to be careful with my stomach.
Okay.
And guys, there's always a juicing. There's always a way. Don't give up on your weight. I know sometimes people get lost. I was lost.
Yeah, weight to big issue
lost.
for a lot of people. You know,
I'm still young enough, but I'm lost. And I'm so happy that because I had a cousin that died who was 500 pounds. I've seen people now dying from sugar and diabetes. I had a friend now who were dying
Yeah.
from dialysis and stuff. So,
Yeah, I mean, people, it's a big issue, but I know we have a few more months on the show, but I got to go back to the LSAT. So how do you feel? I know we talked a lot about politics, but let's end it on a light note. How do you feel about these LSATs?
So
right now?
I believe that I took the test at first. I don't think I'll get the same questions, but I think it'll be the right one.
I think don't they reword them each test?
That's what they do.
I
Because
mean,
I think, how do you give 1,000 people different? Only 500. Only
yeah,
like,
but different days you may get them the number
mix it up?
numerically.
I would say that you would do the same test
when
for 4 days in a row because the same guy can't.
When I took the SATs, and I took the SATs multiple times, every time I took the SATs, it wasn't the same.
You couldn't take it right away.
Yeah, you had to wait it was like a month or two.
Oh, really?
Well,
either way, I think the principle is very simple. I got the hang of it that it's all a multiple choice. I was nervous about multiple choice. But now I get the multiple choice, and they even give you a button where you can block out the thing that you don't think is to be the right answer. That means they give you 4 choices and you push a button that says, hey, B is not right. So then you have
how much time do they give you for
So they give you about 30 minutes for 25 questions. So it's about a minute a question.
That's it.
That's it. You read it, but sometimes the 3 or 4 or 5 questions is based on the one paragraph that you're reading.
Yeah.
Very little math.
That was
involved.
the SAT.
And I didn't know the system the first time, even though I got 3 of the 4 sections correct, and I did pretty good. And one of the sections didn't come out, something to do with the button. So maybe it was that I did too good or I didn't do good enough. So I'm getting the retest. I believe now I know how the system works, the brain, on how to calculate. Remember, it's a logical test.
Yeah.
Most of it. So I'm a very logical man, and I usually figure out a way to solve people's problems. Like this week, I had somebody in big trouble, and everybody asked me, to help him. So I helped him. Mm-hmm. I can find solutions when other people can't. I'm nothing special.
And this
my
is
solution
why you
to
need
build
to
an
go out
army.
and help this man for city council. If you're here, Black Beauty, Infinite Justice, Shauna Sandberg, if you're back here, Good Advice, all the people that are always here in this chat, this man,
JDL, I want 40 of your friends to come out.
JDL Brotherhood.
3 days before to come out. Help me make calls Sunday, Monday before the election. And Tuesday, everybody hits the streets.
That's it. Listen, and that's why you got to go to HeshyTishler.com. You got to go out there and get this man elected. This is our chance. If you're fed up with Mamdani and you want a counter, Heshy could be that only counter that we have.
Any question
JustEnoughHeshy@gmail.com. Stop by the office anytime, 5318 16th Avenue. This is your chance. The summer is going to be coming to an end in a few weeks. We're going to be getting ready Labor Day.
I'm going to tell you straight out.
Tell me straight up before we go.
He's not winning.
I think Mamdani's got the edge right now.
I
mean, right now, people are saying...
And Sliwa took off his beret.
You know what? He took it off, and, maybe it'll get him some votes.
Because everybody
I'm kind of convinced he's going to finish in second. I think that right now, Adams, to me...
Yeah, he's finished.
He's finished.
I think Cuomo is lower than that.
But that, to me, it still gives these 3 guys the same problems every week.
Cuomo is coming in last.
No,
Not last. Walden is coming last.
Walden's last. I don't know. I mean,
think Adams will beat Cuomo.
I don't know.
Cuomo had people that were just scared of Mamdani.
Well, before we go, Cuomo now wants to double the police force.
Right. First he doesn't want to, then he wants to. And cash bail, I agreed to double the police force because if not, I'm going to try to raise $8 billion myself.
Well, you get elected to council with everybody's help here on this show right now.
It's only $8 billion. You're spending $8 billion on the migrants. Take that $8 billion, put it into the police force.
Well, Mamdani's going to cut the force probably, But obviously, we want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you for being here with us. It's going to be another action-packed show next. We'll talk about plenty of what's going on. Maybe Heshy will give us a recap on Ozempic again, the LSATs. And my LSATs. The LSATs. And thank you, everybody here for tuning in. I'm Tom, and that's Heshy and producer.
Play that music
for us. Play that funky music for us.